We have grown accustomed to our lives being set on autopilot. As we rearrange our schedules to make sure the daily routines, events, obligations are properly attended to, we fail to carve out some time to land in order to refuel our body, our mind, and emotions for the journey ahead. As a result, giants, stress, discord in our relationships, unaddressed insecurity, anxiety are causing havoc in our lives. Our emotions and thoughts are at odds with each other, therefore giving rise to mental and physical fatigue and emotional instability. We have become everything to everybody that self is lost in the mix. But this is a new day, and we are taking back our identity. We are slaying those giants of stress and anxiety and depression by employing boundaries, mental boundary, relational boundary, and personal space boundaries. These boundaries will undergird us as we master life rather than life mastering us.
This week on Masterpiece.
Greetings, beautiful ladies. I'm Cheryl Brown, and welcome to our show, Masterpiece. I say our show because we are on this journey together, where we're growing from the inside out in order to transform from being a piece of art to a masterpiece. I have a series on boundaries that you do not want to miss. So get you a cup of tea, coffee, or your favorite beverage, your notebook, your journal, your pencil, your pen, and let's go down the road called Boundaries to Find Self. I hope you enjoy. Hey, don't forget to subscribe at the link below.
Unique, you're special, you're amazing, you're awesome, you're brilliant, you are
a masterpiece. You are brilliant, you are strong, you're a masterpiece. Brilliant, strong, you're a masterpiece. You're brilliant, you're strong, you're a masterpiece. You are brilliant, you are strong, a masterpiece.
I have grown accustomed to the fact that we live our lives on autopilot as we strategically rearrange our schedules to make sure the daily routines, the obligations, the events attached to our hats or hats we wear are properly attended to. We fail to carve out time to land in order to refuel our body, our mind, and our emotions for the journey ahead. Furthermore, we have helplessly submitted to the self-created excuses that has become the hallmarks we use to validate the reason or reasons for being hesitant when it comes to reuniting with self. Just because we have unconsciously equate operating at an autopilot mode as being normal does not make it right. We are constantly on autopilot and deny ourselves the opportunity to take the time to attend to self. We cause our emotions and our thoughts to be at odds with each other, out of sync, therefore giving rise to mental and physical fatigue, emotional instability, and even becoming susceptible to various ailments. This combative struggle to maintain soundness of mind, physical health, and emotional stability in order to preserve the authenticity of self is oftentimes negated by the constant surrendering of oneself, the constant compromising of self, the constant denying of self for the sake of those who are endlessly pulling from or withdrawing from the unconditional love, the wisdom, the faith, the patience, the strength, the determination, the leadership abilities, the discernment, the discipline, the emotional stability, the nurturing qualities, the creativity that has been proportionally distributed in each hat worn by you. It is when we as women do not find a balance between all that is required from the hat or hats worn and taking time to care for self that we find ourselves lost in the mix. As a result, we become burnt out, depressed, stressed, frustrated, bittered, moody, in an attitude, on the edge, therefore causing our hats to tilt to one side when it should be standing straight up on top of our heads. Let's look at some preventative measures that will help you find self. Preventative measure number 1, setting boundaries. Recovering and maintaining self from being lost in the mix weighs heavily on establishing boundaries that are clearly differentiated between when it's time to serve others and when it's time to attend to self. For many, there are no lucid boundaries in place to undergird their personal lives, therefore causing the awareness of one uniqueness, one authenticity as a woman or a person to become dim, while the need and or the concerns of others become more heightened and more vivid in sight. And as a result, many women's ladies become prone to experience what I call a burnt out moment. Now you might want to write this down. A burnt out moment is when an individual has overexerted themselves to the point that he or she becomes no good to anyone, not even herself. Ladies and gentlemen included, it is mandatory for boundaries to be strategically set in place in our lives for the following reasons. Number 1, boundaries place a demand or set a standard in which only you, but those around you, respect one's personal space. Let's be real. Life is always about doing something. Cleaning up your house, taking your children to football practice, dance lessons, taking the dog to the groomers, going to the PTA meeting, fulfilling your duties as a wife, overseeing business meetings, all falls under the category of doing something. Having your personal space is crucial from the standpoint that it allows you to enter into a place of rest, what I call a chill mode, where the opportunity is at hand for you to seize the moment to relax and regroup before resuming to your designated roles. I highly recommend that all women should make it a habit to indulge in what I call a bubble moment. A bubble moment on a regular basis. A bubble moment, write this down, is when you become emotionally, mentally, and physically encapsulated in activities that not only bring you pleasure, but it usher in the serenity needed to tame one's emotions, physical health, and thoughts such as jogging, reading a book while taking a warm, relaxing bubble bath, going for a hike. That's me time. A bubble moment literally becomes a spa treatment for your emotion, body, and even your mind. Therefore, which permits you to pamper yourself in effort to maintain the authenticity of self. Number 2, establishing clear boundaries help reshape people's thoughts both personally and professionally. Not always to see yourself as the solution. In addition, setting boundaries challenge you to avoid the temptation or the compelling moments of being put in the position of constantly providing the answer, offering yourself to execute the solution or both. By setting limits on how much you are willing to give of yourself will gradually force those around you to look outside of you in order to utilize or take advantage of other accessible resources. Well, beautiful ladies, I am out of time. I want you to read over your notes, reflect on what you have heard today. I want you to see yourself setting boundaries. I want you to see yourself having a bubble moment. Until next time, you were born brilliant and beautiful. And repeat after me, I am a masterpiece.
You're brilliant, you're strong.